If you're someone who works both at home and on the go and you want one bag that you can just grab and take with you conveniently wherever you're working, I might just have found the perfect bag for you. Shall we? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we're giving you tech-related tips, tricks and reviews to help with your hybrid lifestyles, both at home and on the go. The bag we're covering today is this. This is the Aer Commuter Brief 2, and I've been testing this bag daily for the last 3 weeks, so I can tell you exactly what it's like to live with. Firstly, on the design, what you can see is that it's a fairly understated design. It only comes in one color, this bag, which is this black color. It does just kind of have that generic laptop bag type look. I quite like the curved edges, which give it a nice little point of difference. It's going to be suitable for a business type scenario. So not necessarily that exciting, but I think it does the job quite nicely. This is a very premium feeling bag. It feels very well made and sturdy. It's not likely to fall apart anytime soon. The sides have this kind of textured nylon, and then the front is a little bit more glossy and the back is nice and padded. So I think looks wise what you're getting here is nothing incredibly special, but something that will fit in with your business type attire. If you need to be smartly dressed, if you're going to an important meeting, if you walk in with this bag, no one's going to bat an eyelid. Some of the other key design features on this bag are the two ways you can hold it. The first way is by the carry handles, briefcase style, and the carry handles can be kept nicely together with this button popper here. I generally keep this undone because, as you'll see, the handles stand up anyway, so I can grab and go anytime I need to do that. The second way to carry the bag, which is the way I generally use it, is messenger style. So you have this messenger strap which can be clipped on and off at any time, so you could obviously store this away inside the bag if you don't want to use it or don't use it very often. This shoulder strap is really padded. The padding is fixed in place here, so you can't slide it along the strap like you can with some shoulder pads. And I have seen some comments online that this makes life a little bit difficult for tall people because the padding won't actually fall on your shoulder if you have the bag done up tightly enough. I'm 6'2" and I can confirm the padding does just hit the edge of my shoulder when I've got it done to the length I want it. It doesn't cause me any problems. I do still get padding on my shoulder, but only just. So it's something to keep in mind. It doesn't bother me at all, but some people have commented on that. Some other of the features on the outside of the bag, you've obviously got the zippers here, which work nicely. You've got one compartment there in the front and a second compartment here with another two zippers, so you can zip in both directions. In terms of the look of the bag, there's not too much to go over, as you can see. Nice and simple, understated. That's the way I like things. The final great design feature that I really like though is that the bag is freestanding. It will stand up on its own. It's actually amazing. Until you've had a bag that does this, you don't realize how much you appreciate it. You can just set that bag down and the bag will just stand there. So you can literally grab and go anytime you want to leave. Okay, we've covered the design, but what about the features of the bag? Well, this bag is all about compartments, and if you've been watching the channel before, you'll know that I absolutely love organization and compartments in bags. It just helps me keep my life organized, especially important when I'm working. I want to know where everything is, everything's got its place. This bag really has you covered for that. If we start with the outside of the bag and move to the back, so this is the side that you would carry against your back, and there are two compartments here. But before we dive into those, the first thing to notice is that you've got this little Velcro strap here, which is your luggage pass-through. So as well as a daily commute bag, this can be a really good option for someone who does business travel, because you can just slide that obviously on top of your little carry-on suitcase, and then you've got a two-bag combo that's going to have you sorted for any business trip. Luggage pass-through fixes via Velcro, really nice and handy. And then we come to these main pockets here. The first one we're going to open up is the zipper pocket. This is a fairly small, fairly tight pocket. It's lined nicely with a really soft material. I think this pocket is intended for keeping valuables stored. Obviously this is going against your back, so you don't want to put anything too big and bulky in here. I've been keeping my phone in this pocket for the last 3 weeks, for example. Obviously helps protect against theft if it's against your back, and some other things that are quite good to keep in this pocket are obviously for the same reason, something like a wallet. And I've also been keeping my AirPods in there, or AirPods case when my AirPods are in my ears, obviously. So those things just live in that valuables pouch, help protect against them getting stolen. Then the second pouch we've got on the back here, and it's another good thing about this bag is that there's different pouches and pockets that are sealed differently. So you've got zipper pouches, you've also got poppers on here, and this wider pouch at the back has a popper on it. Now I must confess, I haven't been using this pocket. This is the one pocket on the bag where I've struggled to find a daily use for it. I think probably it's intended for keeping things like important documents in, for example. So I've just put one in there to show you how that might be used. Probably about an A4 size there, so you could slide in some important documents into the back. But generally I haven't been using this. The downside of keeping any documents in there is that it's not completely sealed, so if it were to rain, then there's a risk they could get wet. And we're carrying documents around less and less now. You might look at that and think, it could be a good spot for a tablet, but as you'll see as we get into the bag, there's better options in terms of where you keep your tablet in here. But still, I've never complained about too many pouches and pockets on a bag. Next, we'll flip around to the front and we'll open up the first main compartment of the bag. And this is one of my favorite features about this bag that you're about to see here. Zips to halfway down the bag so you can flip the flap down, and what you'll see is some incredible organization options in the bag. I love this because it's like having a tech pouch built into the bag itself. So if you don't actually want to carry your separate tech pouch around and just want those key essentials that you're going to use when you're working, you can organize them all really nicely in here. Starting off with this little pouch here. I keep a tie in here, which basically never gets used, but I always like to keep on me just in case for those important business meetings. Have a tie on you just in case you need it. And then this pouch is also great for keeping something like a notebook in it if you still like to take paper notes. Then we've got a couple of pen holders in here. So obviously if you take those paper notes, you're never going to want to be without a pen. So great to have a couple of pens and a couple of dedicated slots for those pens. The next thing I've been keeping in here is something you'll have seen before on the channel, but this is my Mophie 3-in-1 MagSafe travel charger. I love taking this with me when I go into work, when I go on my daily commute, and slips perfectly into this pouch on the bag here. Ideal. Okay, there's yet more pockets in here. We have this kind of mesh type pocket down here. What I've been using for that is this USB-C hub, which I use to plug into my MacBook, along with my travel mouse, which is from Logitech. So those two things live in there for quick, easy access. And then the last thing I've got in here is, you'll see, I've got a zipper pouch internally. And what I've been keeping in here, because there is a key clip, is my keys. So they just clip on and off there, nice and easily, and they can live down in that pouch. This is obviously the front of the bag, this part. So if you're carrying it, you can kind of swing it round, just take your keys out, and they're at a good height to open the door with. This pouch at the back I've been using occasionally. I find it's really good for keeping something like a magazine in it. Again, when I talked about different options of where you could put a tablet in the bag, this is one of those options. There's another option which I'll show you in a minute, but that pouch is ideal for something like that. We will do up the front pouch, and then we will come to this second main zip-up compartment at the rear, the main compartment of the bag really. You've seen that organization in the front, but this is the main spacious area of this bag. You'll see the nice Aer logo inside there, as well as all sorts of bits and pieces that I've got in here. So this is the laptop pouch, and the first thing to come out of here is the MacBook Pro. This pouch will actually hold up to a 13-inch laptop, so you're going to get most laptops in there. And then there's a subdivided pouch in front, and this is actually where I keep my iPad. This is my iPad Pro 11-inch, and that lives in that pouch because I like to keep it alongside my laptop. So a few options of where to keep a tablet, but this is my preferred pouch to keep that tablet in, so it's nice and together with the laptop. And there's still more in here. This is my wireless headset from Jabra, and down at the bottom, always handy to have, an umbrella in the UK. 50% of the year it's raining, just slides down into the bottom of the bag. Another huge reason why I bought this bag is because of this feature. It has within here a water bottle pocket where I am keeping my Hydrate Spark Pro smart water bottle. The reason this is so important for me is that I didn't want to carry a backpack type bag to work. I don't think they look very professional. So if you're going into a meeting with a backpack, I don't think it looks great. It's also not great for your smart clothes to be wearing those double backpack shoulder straps over your back. I wanted a messenger / brief style bag, which this obviously fits the bill for with those two different carrying methods. But I also really wanted a water bottle pocket. I make a conscious effort to drink a lot of water, which is why I have this smart water bottle that tells me when I need to drink and how much I've had to drink. And it's really important that I'm able to carry this with me in my bag and not have to hold it separately. It's amazing how few messenger bags actually have a water bottle pocket. Even fewer have a water bottle pocket that can fit a decent sized bottle. This is the larger size Hydrate Spark Pro, and this fits nicely in that water bottle pocket down there. This is another complaint I've seen some people have with the bag, that it's quite difficult to access that water bottle pocket, but you've just seen me insert that bottle in there quite nicely and easily. It only becomes a bit tricky when the bag's already full. If you put your water bottle in there before you put your laptop and tablet back, you shouldn't have any issues. It fits absolutely perfectly in terms of the height of the bag, and it does up nicely in there. So you've seen how many essentials I can fit in that bag. It actually wasn't close to being full. I could have fit plenty more in this compartment. You can see it's actually pretty cavernous in there. There's a lot of space, it's wide, and so really practical to use. everything back in there, and you've still got a big wide space down here, plus some extra space at the top for even more stuff if you need it. Does up nicely and you're ready to go. This bag is 13 litres in total capacity, but honestly it feels a lot more than that. The reason I think that's the perfect size for a bag like this is it makes it small enough to fit into those tight spaces, like under a desk, in between your legs on a train, or under your seat on a plane, but it still contains plenty of space for everything you should need for a day's work. And I find that space really deceptive. It's a lot more spacious than it actually feels when you're using it. 13 litres is obviously a little bit less than certain competing tech bags, something like the Peak Design Everyday Backpack, which is my travel backpack of choice. And if you want to see more about that, you should watch the video here. So it's less space than something like that, but I tried using that Peak Design backpack every day for work and moved away from it because I wasn't filling it up every day. I wasn't maximizing the space in it, and so it felt unnecessary. It also felt a bit less professional carrying a backpack around, and I think that's where this comes into its own. So what about price? The Aer Commuter Brief 2 is unfortunately a little bit tricky to get hold of here in the UK, and the only place I found to be able to buy it was actually from Aer's own website. Aer are a US company, so you are going to have to factor in shipping costs on top of how much the bag costs, which may be a factor in your decision. But the price of the bag itself on that website is $145 currently, which prices it cheaper than some of those competitors like the Peak Design backpack. The shipping costs on top are going to bring that price up a little bit, so do consider that. For me, even including those shipping costs to get it over here to the UK, this is absolutely worth that money. There's no denying you can find cheaper messenger or brief style bags than this. I actually tried a few on Amazon before settling on this, and I sent them all back because either they didn't look smart enough, they didn't have all the organization features I needed, the water bottle pocket was too small for my Hydrate Spark Pro. None of them completely hit the brief. Pardon the pun. So the final verdict on the Aer Commuter Brief 2, should you buy it? Do I think it's worth it after 3 weeks of daily use for my commute? Absolutely. This is the best work commuter tech bag I've ever tested. The best laptop bag for daily use, traveling between your home office and wherever you work on the go. Small, compact, spacious, stylish. I really think this ticks all the boxes. This is going to help keep you organized. It's going to help keep you looking smart for those important meetings. And everything in the bag has its place, so you can access it quickly. Nothing gets in the way of you doing your best work. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please hit that subscribe button. Give it a like. Leave me a comment down below. I want to know if you've got any more questions on this bag, what it's like to use versus something like the Peak Design backpack, or anything else at all. Thanks, and see you on the next one.